1982, Route 66. A deserted motel. The sun is setting as a young couple pulls into a lonely, worn-down motel on Route 66, surrounded by the endless stretch of desert. They're on a cross-country road trip, an escape before settling into the next phase of life. The motel looks abandoned, with peeling paint, a creaking sign, and a single bulb casting a yellow glow outside the check-in office. Inside, they're greeted by a strange, elderly desk clerk, who hands them a heavy key with a cryptic smile. Meet Mark and Lisa. Mark's the kind of guy who likes to keep his cool. He's logical, level-headed, and probably the most practical one in any room. Right now, he's on a break from his intense job, hitting the road with Lisa for a cross-country adventure. He's hoping for a bit of freedom, some relaxation, and maybe even a change of pace. Then there's Lisa, 3 years younger and always up for anything. She's got this fearless, thrill-seeker vibe and doesn't get rattled easily. Ghost stories? Fate? Yeah, she's not buying it. To her, all that talk is just a bit of fun, nothing more. When they check into room 6, Mark starts to feel something's off. But Lisa just laughs it off, teasing him, and suggests they try out the old TV in the corner. The thing looks like a relic from the 1950s, coated in dust and giving off a faint, musty smell. But oddly enough, it's plugged in and ready to go, adding a curious twist to what was supposed to be a simple night's stay. The room itself is eerie, with a low hum of buzzing lights and outdated decor that feels like a time capsule. Faded floral wallpaper peels from the walls, and the bed creaks with every shift. But it's the TV that catches their attention. It only shows black and white channels, flickering with static as they try to tune it in. Finally, the screen settles, revealing a grainy film that looks like a low-budget horror movie. As they watch, they begin to notice that the characters in the film look uncannily like them. The woman even wears a bracelet identical to Lisa's, and the man has the same jacket as Mark. Intrigued, the couple continues watching as the movie unfolds. They watch the lookalikes explore a motel room identical to theirs, only to be tormented by a shadowy figure who lurks just out of sight. Each night, the film grows more disturbing, showing violent and haunting scenes as the figure gets closer. One night, they realize that the scenes on the screen are no longer fictional. The couple in the film goes to sleep, only to be awakened by eerie sounds, doors creaking and shadows moving. The exact same events happen in real time in their room. Sounds that match the movie's scenes, shadows shifting under the door. When Lisa reaches to turn off the TV, it flickers and displays an image of her and Mark, staring at the screen in real time. The figure moves in behind them in the movie, inching closer with each passing scene, and it's then that Mark realizes the truth. They're not just watching a horror movie. They're watching a premonition of their own fate. As panic sets in, they begin searching the room for clues. Mark finds a journal tucked under a loose floorboard, left by a previous guest who describes a similar experience. A chilling realization that the TV predicted his every move. The journal's last entry warns of a motel employee who once went mad, slaughtering guests and recording every gruesome moment. Lisa, meanwhile, discovers that the motel was shut down years ago after a series of brutal murders, only reopening recently under new management. It dawns on them that the spirits of the victims are still trapped here, reliving their torment through the haunted TV. They realize that the same fate awaits them unless they can escape by sunrise. As the clock ticks closer to dawn, Mark and Lisa try to leave, only to find themselves disoriented. Doors lead back into the same room, the hallway loops, and they can hear faint, distant cries echoing through the walls. Each turn seems to lead them back to the room, as if the motel itself is toying with them. Desperate, they return to the room, where the TV is now showing them in live time, struggling to escape. The figure stands behind them on the screen, but when they turn around, the room appears empty. Mark remembers the journal's warning. The only way to break the curse is to destroy the TV. He grabs a heavy metal lamp and smashes it against the TV screen. The glass shatters, and with it, a piercing scream fills the room as the television bursts into flames. In the early hours of dawn, Mark and Lisa stumble out of the room, fleeing the motel and running to their car. As they drive away, the sun rises, casting the desert in an eerie, peaceful light. They look back only once, and in the rearview mirror, the motel sign flickers before going dark. But as they drive down the empty stretch of Route 66, the radio crackles to life. Faintly, they hear the same eerie soundtrack from the TV, with their own voices whispering words they can't make out. They exchange a horrified look, unsure if they truly escaped or if some part of them is still trapped back in that room, replaying their fear for the next unlucky guest. They later learn that the motel has a long history of reappearing on Route 66, its location shifting slightly each time it's reported. No records exist of guests who checked out, only stories of those who vanished. Mark and Lisa's memories start to fade, as if the events were a dream. Yet the nightmares persist, and each time they close their eyes, they see the motel room's flickering light, calling them back to the haunted screen.